set the times in the future, and we were still able to. We're saying you've got no data coming out.
Yeah, I just turned it off. I just cut the stream. And so it says it's good. Oh, well, that's because I restarted the other one. Yeah, I restarted the original one.
So if you press preview on that, you should get the preview window.
Preview's grayed out.
Yeah, it's already previewed.
It says you're live, though.
Hit the watch page up on the top right, Tom.
Yeah, it doesn't want to show us what's there until 9 o'clock. That's the thing. So that's 16 minutes and 22 seconds. And I don't have the patience for that kind of nonsense. I am just not.
Can you fill 16 minutes of dead air, Tom?
Not for.
He does that every week.
You are mean. Just mean. Just not. Gee whiz, Dave. No, Giles, I know it's like 4 in the morning for you, so I'm not about to try to fill 16 minutes for something that is not likely to work. But I will say that I could not be prouder of World of Live Streaming and StreamFest for what you guys have done today and for how you have accomplished what you've accomplished. And the handoff to me is the striking technology that you guys have uncovered today, and I think that's going to be a game changer for some people. And if it hasn't already gotten out into the great wild, hopefully now it is, and I would encourage you guys to make a big deal of it when you have your show on Monday, because I think it is a big deal. And I think for a lot of people that are out there that are trying to figure out how to make that handoff and they haven't figured it out, that Jan's idea of using the backup stream is just a stroke of genius. I'll take the blame, but you guys get the credit. So that's the way it should go.
Had it not been for you, none of this may have happened. So, you're very much part of it.
Well, and I tell you what, we talk about this stuff being a game changer, but in my perspective, what it really is it's a life changer. That you guys have come into my orbit, and other people have come into my orbit, and other people into your orbit. Rudy was saying this earlier today. People that he is now friends with, that he's never met in person. Like his love for Tommy. How many times did he say to Tommy today that he loved him? And that's, number one, guys don't talk like that, at least not here in the States, at least not most of the time. And number two, to say that to somebody that you really have never ever met in person. This medium has plugged people into each other in a way that I don't know would necessarily have happened live. It's allowed us to really push aside a lot of the BS and get straight to the part that connects us. And in this case, it is this specific technology. Even though different ones of us are going different directions in how we use the technology, but it's that base technology that has really grabbed a hold of us. And I know it's grabbed a hold of me. I mean, I remember back in 2008 when I did my first ever live stream. I didn't even know what to call it. But and I live streamed a soccer match. I don't know how far it went, but we found somebody that had a little page that would allow us to stream. It was probably just a little 240 stream, maybe just a 144. I don't know. And we had a webcam and duct taped it to a tripod. It didn't have a microphone, didn't have graphics, didn't have anything except maybe we had Flash Media Live Encoder or something, I don't know, to get that stream out. And the response that we got from people that were watching that were worlds away, that couldn't be there, and suddenly they felt connected because it was live and they were there in a virtual sense, even though the doggone picture was only this big. And the audio was terrible, and there weren't any graphics, weren't any scores, and we got bold the second day, and we started calling out things. And we'd write stuff on a clipboard and put it in front of a camera, so they were the graphics. But at the end of that weekend, I got emails. Some of them were emails that were sent to somebody else and then forwarded to me, where people were just going gaga over this. And I didn't know what it was. I couldn't give it a name back then, but I knew that whatever it was a thing. And that thing was going to be a big thing. Everybody talks about the next big thing. Well, this was the next big thing. And I realized right then and there, as this wave picks up speed and comes into crest, I want to be right in the middle of it. Whatever it is, however it's there. And I started searching Google and making all the inquiries I possibly could, but there was nobody I could talk to. Nobody knew. People thought I was crazy. What are you talking about? And I said, there's got to be a piece of software out there that'll let you plug in more than one camera into a computer and switch them and add graphics. I mean, like ESPN. And finally found VidBlaster and found Wirecast, and then years later found vMix. And it's been an amazing journey. And it all started because a friend said, Tom, do you think you can get this soccer match, somehow put it on the internet where people can watch it live? And I said, sure. And I didn't know how, but I found out how. And I can't help but think that was a game changer for me in my lifetime. And then, of course, coming into the orbit with you guys has been pretty astounding too. Pretty darn astounding. While I'm waxing sentimental, I will give a shout out to myself mostly, but to remind you guys that next April in Las Vegas is going to be a meetup of all the streaming idiots. And you really want to put it on your calendars, and you want to buy your flights and book your hotels now while the prices are low, and go ahead and get ready to go out there. It's the NAB starts on a Monday. The show starts on a Monday, runs through a Thursday. The Streaming Idiots is going to be Tuesday night. I think it's the 9th, but don't quote me on that. And I really want you to come. I really want you to come. I really want to see you. I really want to hug your neck and hear your stories about what's going on. And more than that, I want you to be in the company of all the other folks. Yeah, we can do this virtually, and that's really, really cool. But this once a year opportunity to come and hug, Jerome Hardman's neck, or to see Dave, or to be there with Jeff Adams, or to see, all those other folks that were there, and have that time together to share. It's one of my clients, who I will not name, but he'll know who he is by the story. He's I think he's probably mid-30s, but he's a good-looking guy. He could pass for late 20s, and he and his wife have been married, I would guess probably 10 years, but no children. All of a sudden they find out that she's pregnant. Not only is she pregnant, but she's pregnant with twins. And I said, this is going to change your life. And I'm trying to explain to him how it's going to change his life, but there's no way that I can, with words, explain to him the effect, the deepening, the depth and breadth of the experience that he's about ready to encounter. There's no way to make it make sense. In a lesser degree, that's what the Streaming Idiots meetup is like. I can't begin to tell you what you're going to get out of it, except to say you got to experience it. We're going to do it every year. If you can't do it next year in 2019, plan to come for 2020. But put it on your bucket list to come to a Streaming Idiots meetup in Las Vegas in April at NAB on Tuesday night, wherever it is. It may get too big to do it at poor Scott Whitney's studio. I think we trashed the place last year because there were so many of us. But he's a good sport. But at some point, there's just not enough room. But I would commend that to all of you guys to try to find a way to be there. I know Martin Kay came over last year. Unfortunately, he picked up a little bug on the flight or somewhere along the way, so he wasn't at his best. But it's, you got to rub shoulders with Tim from vMix and Daryl from Magewell from Mobile Video Devices, and Eric Pratt from U.S. Broadcast, which is the Yuan guy, and Dan Miles and Eamon Drew from Bird Dog TV, and people that you hear about and are influencers and movers and shakers kind of in our world, but to be able to meet them and talk to them and have an opportunity to exchange cards and exchange emails and grow that relationship in the future, you really, 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 really want to do it. You really want to do it. Yeah. Okay. Off my high horse, off my soap opera, off my soapbox. That's what it is, a soapbox. We're going to do Giles and Company a favor, and we're going to end 7 minutes early because this has not been anything I expected. But hat tip to Dave and Giles and Kenny too for coming through and saving my fanny tonight. We're going to close out. Not yet, Dave. I heard the hiss that says somebody turned on their microphone in the background. We're going to close out with the Streaming Idiots closeout, and then we'll have a brief 45-second post show. So stick around for the post show. You gotta love this closing. Gee whiz. And we are out. Hey, how about that? How about that? All right, so Dave, pop right in. Tell me what I missed.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Tom, you hear me?
I do.
Hey,
That sounds like Kurt.
It is. Thank you. Giles, I hope you don't mind. I just got a thought about this backup stream thing, and I just got to ask the question. We heard Jim talk today, and we've heard Jim talk before, and I've talked to Jim about the automation system that he has in his office to be able to switch from his 24-hour stream to a live stream. Could this possibly do that if you could remote into whatever you're running your 24-hour stream on, be able to shut that stream down and seamlessly go to a second stream?
And replace it with a second stream from a different source.
Why not?
Yes. And I'm thinking, why pay $10,000 for a A-list server or whatever it is when you might could do it this way? And I know it's late and it's been a long day, but I thought of that, but I just did.
Kurt, let me play devil's advocate for 19 seconds. You're going to get the little spinning dial there. Is it worth $10,000 to do away with that dial, that buffering sign? And what was it, 45 seconds to a minute where it's switching?
5 minutes early with the graphic. If you start at 5 minutes early with a graphic, does it matter? And
then, okay. And especially if the graphic had a little circle in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. Who's going to know, right?
That's right.
I'm just...
A motion graphic buffer. You can even make it a color so that it's really cool looking.
Sure.
Part of your logo.
Genius.
Or something, yeah. And I'm just thinking outside the box, maybe. I don't know.
It's because we're early adapters.
Well, that was certainly not the intention of the experiment, but it could be.
I think it's a good thought, Kirk, and nobody's going to notice the little spinning wheel, are they? You see it so often during other times, just network congestion and stuff that, most people wouldn't notice it. And even if you have to do a refresh, I think most people are used to the fact that occasionally you have to do that. So yeah, I don't see why not. It's as long as the big ones to keep the resolutions the same. That seems to, as long as you're taking over at the same resolution, it seems to be more reliable. And it's very interesting watching what Tom was doing today. It was a very interesting test, going from one resolution to the other. It seems to go up better than down, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason I did that is because since I was sending the same stream, there would be no way to know what you had. So there had to be a marked difference in what it was. But if you were doing the same resolution, and so you're out in the field and you team viewer back into your studio and you cut off the main stream so that your stream out there at the remote studio or out in the field, wherever you are, becomes the primary stream. And so it buffers for, 40 seconds or whatever. And part of your graphic is at the bottom that says, if you see buffering, please refresh, so everybody gets on board. I think for 10 grand, I would take a little buffering. Great idea, Kurt.
Yeah, I agree. That's quite a savings
Thanks,
potential
guys. I
there.
appreciate that.
I love it.
Something to think about while you're not doing anything else in the
There
next
you
couple
go.
of days.
There you go.
All right. Well, we have 1 minute left.
Giles, you want to have some closing remarks?
It's your show, Giles.
Yeah. What an amazing day. I'm just looking on, I've got the YouTube live monitor thing going here, and it says elapsed time 17 hours and 13 minutes, because of course we did start slightly early to give people time to join the stream. So we're literally a minute, I think, now, or maybe we've even made it to a whole 17 hours. We did 10 till 2 in the morning last year, I think, which was 14 hours. So we've done 3 more hours. It's just incredible. And we were based at the pub in Iddesleigh, as we normally are, but because we were able to hand off to Dave this evening, I was able to come home to a house full of hornets, unfortunately. But having sorted that out, and Dave, you've done a brilliant job, superb, and it's been pretty seamless all the way through, and to all our presenters and all the sponsors, can't thank you enough. I think this one's been really successful, and what a great way to end with Tom Sinclair. You are the perfect ending act, I think, Tom. So thank you very much for that. Big round of applause to everybody.
Yeah. And thank you for the opportunity, Giles. I really appreciate the chance to shoulder some of the load for the team. So appreciate it very much.
And I really appreciate you doing that as well. The appreciation is definitely very much equally spread, shall we say, for want of better words. I've really enjoyed the presentations today. I've missed a few on my way home. I'm hoping I'll catch up with those. But there's been some really excellent stuff today. And wow. Maybe we'll do it again in 2019 if people want to do it. I think it's been a fun thing to do, and it's a great way to bring everybody together. And there is such a good community, as Tom said, around this. And Tom Sinclair, with the Streaming Idiots Group, is definitely one of the major communities. And it's it is just incredible. Thank you so much for everybody who's taken part. If you've been watching, if you've joined in and asked questions, been part of the live audience, you've all made it what it is. And without everybody, it just wouldn't be what it is. It couldn't possibly happen. I'd like to hand it over to Tom at this stage.
Well, okay, guys. So let me let you guys off with a
I
benediction.
can't find him, Giles. I think he bailed. Oh, there he is.
No, I'm here. I'm here. And let me just send you out with a blessing. That my hope is that the Creator of the universe bless the works of your hands and the inclinations of your heart, and all of the generations that have come before you and all the generations that come after you, and that especially that He bless this wild and crazy horse that we're riding called live streaming. So with that, I will bid everyone a good night and look forward to seeing you guys online again in the very near future. All right. So is that a live stream?